Welcome back, everyone, to more Let's Play The Misadventures of Miles Edgeworth, and I just messed that up, didn't I? Oh well. We're cornering Roland right now because we think she's the murderer, and she's already admitted that Frank was the one who opened or turned off the breakers and stuff. That's odd. Well, let's go on anyway. But we were not responsible for Knightley's murder. What? Warden Roland, whatever do you mean? Judge Courtney, would the goddess of law hear my confession? The goddess of law is merciful. She will absolve you. I thought she was about to say, she will absolutely listen to you. I was being threatened. That's why I had no choice but to do as I was told. So, who was threatening you? Sirhan Dogan, that assassin. Dogan. It's been going on since that man came to the prison. I will never forget that day. Well, that's disturbing. When we were both alone, he suddenly said to me, I have many dogs outside the prison. Dogs? Loyal dogs who obey my every command. I soon realized that what Dogan referred to were not really dogs, but his human henchmen. And that's not all he said. You better watch how you treat me, if you don't want you and your family to become dog food. Wow, Dogan! Jesus Christ! I had no choice. I gave him the special cell. I gave him anything he desired. Anything he desired? You don't mean the supplier? That's right. Anything he ordered, I would deliver to him. An underground dealership. I was the one who won over Frankie. It was simple. I just offered him special privileges within the prison. And these underground dealings? Once a week in the middle of the night, Frankie would shut off 2 of the breakers. So I could move from my office to the courtyard without being seen by the security camera. I would go past the fence and drop the goods down the well near the prison. Oh, and then I'd sprinkle this perfume over it. So that's the true identity of the sweet scent. The scent of perfume was a signal for Dogan's dog. After picking up the scent, it would carry the goods to Dogan. Of course, this had to be done while Albert was away from his cell. I'm surprised he never found out about it, pal. We have a strict timetable here at the prison. Meal time, exercise time. It's easy to know when he's away from his cell. And since little Rocky is afraid of Dogan's dog, I didn't have to worry about him making a noise. So, having full knowledge of the prison's inner workings, she made the deliveries herself. This would have ensured there were no slip-ups. Frankie would turn the breakers back on in the early morning and the delivery was complete. I then modified the timestamp on the security camera. You have told us a great deal. The goddess of law accepts your penitent confession. As the warden of the prison, how could I have done such a foolish thing? The day Knightley was killed was also a delivery day. It seems Frankie was working the breaker as usual, but that day I had nothing to send, so I did not go to the courtyard at all. Secret of the supply system. So then Warden Roland was. The police have been searching for Dogan's henchmen for ages. I've also been helping them, but I've been interrogating him personally in my office, but no matter how much evidence we have on him, we can't get a single word out of him. So the reason you kept on interrogating him? Yes, I was to find his henchmen. I borrowed all the evidence from the police and carried out the interrogation myself. I kept an eye on all his actions and examined all his mail. Mail, like his correspondence chest letters. But I could never uncover the true identity of his henchmen. This fear, it's something you could never understand. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you were listening, right? I'd say this confession clears the warden of all suspicion. Is it really necessary to press her further than this? Is it necessary to press her further? Yes. You're not getting away just yet. Judge Courtney, my questioning isn't over yet. I'm sure the goddess of law isn't satisfied yet either. You mean to badger this woman further? Even if she was threatened by Dogen, this does not prove she was not the culprit in this case. She was able to use the supply route to transport Knightley's body. Do you have any evidence to support this? The body gave off a sweet scent, the scent of perfume that was used to signify a delivery. Can you explain this fact? Oh, of course. Since I have made so many deliveries, the scent would have lingered around the well. When the body was moved through the well, the scent would have transferred to it. Mr. Elbert also testified to this fact. That's it. For some reason, that well gave off a nice scent. A nice scent. I don't know what it was, but it smelled sweet, like candy. The lingering scent in the well would, of course, be picked up by anything passing through. Well, that would mean the dog would constantly be checking the well if it smells like that. The defense rests, I see. In that case, court is adjourned. Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything we can do? What should I do? This is as far as I can go. Is it over already? Yes, Sebastian, it is. And now, court is officially adjourned. We're not in a courtroom! Hold it. Was that, Who was that? Alright, cool. It's not nice of you to adjourn things just like that, Courtney Pie. Mr. Shields. Are you objecting to the court adjourning? Of course not. I ain't got no objection or anything like that. Go ahead and adjourn the court. Do whatever you like. Hey, what are you doing, Mr. Shields? Whoa there, calm down, Kay. Who wants some chocolate? Is this a joke? You'll have to excuse me. I just have one tiny request to make. As Simon Key's attorney. That's right, you're the defense attorney in charge of this case, aren't you? Exactly. Did you all forget? That's so mean. But you just left everything to Mr. Edgeworth and didn't do anything at all! Yeah, that's right. That's why. I thought I'd do my job a bit. Do your job? That hardly sounds like you at all. It's to prepare for the trial. I'd like to ask the warden a few questions. Surely you jest. What more would you expect to hear from her? Well, Miss Warden, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the culprit. My thoughts? Uncle Ray believes that Simon is not the culprit. It seems that Miss Warden also suspects someone other than Simon. I'd like to hear you out. Mr. Edgeworth, what's Mr. Shield up to? He's trying to lure Warden Roland into testifying. Why was the supply route used to transport the body? I'd say it was to pin the crime on Dogen. I see! If he committed a murder here, he would be transferred to another prison, one with tighter security. And that would get rid of the troublemaker! Exactly. She wouldn't pass up a chance like that. Hey, hold on a second! A culprit besides Simon? What do you mean? Simon was the one I was supposed to prosecute! Exactly. So wouldn't it be better if DeBess also listened to what she has to say? Amazing, Mr. Shields! You managed to drag Mr. DeBess into this too! Warden Roland, is this acceptable? Oh, you! It's fine, it's fine! You understand a woman's heart. Thank you, mademoiselle. Actually, I've thought this over. I'd like to tell you my thoughts. You'll let me speak, won't you, Justine darling? Of course, you may speak. Mr. Shields! Awesome! That was a close shave. Thank you, Mr. Shields. No, I'm still leaving the rest to you. Remember what I said? A defense attorney never gives up. The fate of our client rests on our shoulders, after all. It'd be uncool if Uncle Ray didn't put that into practice. Now then, Miles, it's your turn to show you'll never give up. Right. Well then, will you listen to my story? Oh, we'll listen, alright. My story. I believe that the culprit in this case could only have been Dogen. I have no idea what transpired between Dogen and the victim. It simply could have been that Dogen was displeased with him. In any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. He probably had a dog dispose of the body. This is the truth of the case. You said you had no idea, but you do check the mail, right? The victim, Mr. Knightley, was it? I think it is truly terrible thing. Taking a man's life, you mean? That's how you'd go about saying it, isn't it? If only I had been more vigilant, his death would not have happened. That's why I want to clear up his regrets.
Warden Roland, how considerate. I'm sure Mr. Knightley in heaven is overflowing with gratitude.
Is gratitude really what Knightley feels? Alright, let's press everything. Pressing! You seem very confident of that. How can you be so sure? The children of this home are all good little boys and girls. Believe in yourself, believe in your friends, and believe in me and the gods. There's no way any of these hard-working children could have committed a murder. Quite an emotional reasoning. Makes sense coming from someone like her. Only Dogen would be capable of something like that. Knightley was being held in the detention center, and Dogen was in the prison. They couldn't make any contact. Don't you think that would have prevented trouble? The prison is quite confined, right? There were many ways for them to meet. Knightley was murdered days before he would have been sentenced to prison. Surely there weren't many ways a meeting could have occurred. Even without direct meeting, Dogen can still cause trouble. Mark my words. What could Knightley have done in the detention center to displease him? That wasn't just an example. You don't have to take it so seriously. Didn't I already say that I have no idea what transpired between them? Nevertheless, you certainly are a serious one, Edgeworth dear. What's this? That piercing gaze. Always standing straight and stiff. Very nice. Looking very clever, my dear. I think I'm about to become your biggest fan.
Mr. Edgeworth, stay focused! It's just a flesh wound!
Right. Is this some form of psychological warfare? I'm gonna pass that because that's what we gotta press. Do you mean to say the dog threw the body into the well? Dogen has more than one dog, not just that black one, you know. Didn't I tell you he has henchmen outside these walls as well? You mean his henchmen outside the prison aided him in this crime? Of course not. They would have been caught by the security gates. But think about it. Wasn't he the supplier? It's not hard to think he had dogs within the prison too. Oh, well then, why don't you tell me the names of those so-called dogs? If I knew that, I wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. In any case, it's still a possibility. Please try to consider it. She's dodging the question. Can't I pursue this line of thought any further? Warden Roland's testimony is covered in lies. If I pick them apart one by one, her true colors will surely be revealed. Alright, now we're gonna go back to pressing, in any case. There we go. We'll change the statement, I believe. I'd like to hear your thoughts about the circumstances surrounding the murder. Well, I suppose it was a simple job. And during his booking, I learned that the victim had some kind of injury to his neck. He couldn't turn his neck to the right. I remember him saying something like that. Booking. That's the process one undergoes before being locked up in the detention center. It sounds like you don't really know a lot about Knightley. I only know a little. In any case, he would have been an easy target for Dogen. Perhaps he used a chisel hidden in the chessboard. The victim wouldn't even had a chance to scream. Wait, what? I see. Your opinion will be a very valuable reference. Could you add those last statements to your testimony?